to another episode of Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. I am thrilled to report that I have a new review that came in through the podcast website, which, if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, is whereilongtobepodcast.com. Today's review comes from Anna, and she has titled it, What I Long to Hear. Anna says, I am obsessed with this podcast. Need a little inspiration for your next trip? This is the podcast. Feeling down and sad? Listen to the podcast. Feeling unmotivated? Listen to the podcast. Are you bored and lonely on a long walk? Listen to this podcast. Truly, Virginia does an amazing job at interviewing guests and helping them relive their magical vacations. As a listener, you can't help but smile when you listen and daydream. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Anna. I really appreciate that you took the time to write this review, and your words mean a lot to me. Sometimes as a creator, it can feel like I'm just out here speaking into the void, so it's very rewarding to hear directly from a listener like this. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you will consider being a future Trip Report guest. Speaking of Trip Report guests, if you are interested, please submit through the website. The link is in the show notes if you need it. I only have space for a few more guests to get booked for 2025. So now is the time to reach out before it fills up. If you have a trip in November or December of 2025, or even if you have a trip planned for early 2026, please go ahead and reach out. I am always happy to get people locked into that schedule as early as possible. Okay, now it is time to get to the reason that you're here for Elizabeth's post-trip report. For anyone who didn't get a chance to listen to the pre-trip report, Elizabeth was traveling to Orlando July 15th through 22nd with her two kids, Hope, who is 10, and Dean, who is 8, and her mom. They were staying at Caribbean Beach for the first time for the July 15th to 19th portion of their trip, and then they moved over to the Marriott Harbor Lake to visit SeaWorld. I think that should catch you up. Make sure you stick around to the end because Elizabeth's daughter Hope will be popping in for her second time guest appearance on the show, and you do not want to miss that. And with that, here's Elizabeth. Welcome back, Elizabeth.
Thank you for having me. Hello, Virginia.
Hello. We were just talking about how hot it has been and the heat that you had to endure when in Orlando.
Yes.
So you're here, you
Yes,
made it, but
I made it.
I think it's like childbirth where right now you're complaining about the heat and then
Yes,
shortly thereafter you will forget and it will make you book
yes.
again at the same time next year.
You know, it's so funny you say that. I think my sister may have made the same exact analogy when I
Oh,
came
really?
back and said, I don't know if I can, yes, I don't know if I can do Disney in July again. I'm just, I'm getting too old. It was really intense. I think she said the same thing. Give yourself some time. You'll be doing it again before you know it.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's get into all these details. So this was a trip with you and your two kids, Hope and Dean, and your mom. Have you ever, I don't think I asked you during the pre-trip interview, have you ever done a trip with the same group of 4 people? Because I know you've done like bigger family trips.
Right, right. And last February, we did me and Hope and my mom and my sister, but
Mm-hmm.
if my mom and I and the kids have traveled before, just the 4 of us, it's been to like a night in Kansas City, which is close to us here in Omaha. So this was
Right.
certainly our first really big vacation with that combination of people.
So how was the travel down? You were traveling on Tuesday, July 15th. Which is not that long ago, but somehow feels like forever ago now based on everything that I've been doing in the past couple of weeks. How was that?
Yes, that is accurate here too. Yeah, our arrival day went really well. Flights went great. We were delayed a little bit out of Omaha, and then there was a storm system somewhere around Orlando that really didn't impact us much on the ground, but we did
Mm-hmm.
have to spend an extra like 45 minutes in the air to fly around it, which is different. Usually we're used to getting down there in about 2.5 hours. It feels really quick. And this was like closer to 3.5 hours. So it was a little longer, but otherwise you
Mm-hmm.
can't complain. I love a direct flight.
Oh, me too. Did they let you know while you were in the air that that's what was happening?
Yes, yes. You know, when we could tell we weren't as low as we thought we should be,
Mhm.
closing in on Orlando, the pilot came over and just said that they were having to go around some weather and that we'd be a little bit longer. But it was, yeah, it was no big
Okay.
deal. It was mid afternoon. It's not like it was super early in the morning or super late at night. So it was
Right.
fine.
And still plenty of time to make it to your dining reservation on time, which was for Sebastian's because you were staying at Caribbean Beach, Caribbean Beach. How are we going to say it for this episode? Because I feel like I mix it up every single time. How would you like to say it?
I don't have a determination. I wasn't able to to finalize or solidify an answer on that, but I think we kept saying Caribbean Beach. And yeah, it was beautiful in its own ways, and it was tricky in its own ways too. The resort,
Hmm.
um, you know, when people have said, you know, I've seen it on social media or wherever, like that Caribbean Beach is just really spread out as a con. I've kind of always poo pooed that because we've stayed at, you know, Saratoga Springs, Coronado Springs, like other resorts where people have said the same thing, and it really hasn't felt that bad to me.
Hmm.
But I would say Caribbean Beach, we were in Trinidad Building 38, which to anyone who knows the resort, or if you look at a map, it is far away, far away. Like it was, and we like are pretty quick walkers, pretty efficient walkers.
Hmm.
It was a solid 12 to 15-minute walk to the main building, the main pool area, Sebastian's Bistro. And I just really felt like we were disconnected. So our room I loved. I made even like a whole pros and cons list. Like I loved the Little Mermaid room we got to be in.
Hmm.
It was a good use of space, as I feel like a lot of Disney resort rooms are becoming. They're making changes with Murphy beds and just really good space decisions. So, and Bell Services was phenomenal. Like they met so many requests that we had just to make our stay a little more comfortable, especially being further away. But yeah, I had probably more mixed feelings about Caribbean Beach than I have any other Disney resort property that we've stayed at.
Okay. I'm just taking a quick look to see are these the rooms that used to be the pirate rooms? And it seems like
I
they
think so.
are.
I think so. My
Okay.
understanding was that they used to be the pirate rooms and they've become the under the sea Little Mermaid themed rooms. And they really are adorable. It just, yeah, I was just a little underwhelmed by some factors, especially when I compare, you know, this $350 Disney resort room to like a
Hmm.
$150 like all-star music resort room. I honestly didn't perceive a whole lot of benefits to this one, aside from the Skyliner, which was pretty great. But I didn't
Hmm.
know if, for me personally, it made up that cost differential.
Right. Especially when you could stay at Pop Century
Yeah, yeah,
and get something similar without the fifth sleeper.
right,
But
right.
in looking at the room compared to my experience with the pirate room, which is the one time I've stayed there,
Yes,
um, it looks so much better because it has the real bed plus
yeah,
the pull down Murphy bed. And
yes,
when it was the pirate rooms, both it had two beds in it, and both of the beds had this pirate ship shape to them.
right,
And as a result, the mattress was really thin.
yeah,
Yeah, it was not good. It kind of turned me off to the
right,
resort as a whole.
right,
And I keep saying, "Oh, now that they've done away with those rooms, maybe I would. I mean, I'm sure I'll give it another go at some
right,
point.
right.
But that's a really long walk to get to your food offerings,
Yes,
to get to the main pool.
yes.
Now, this means that maybe it was a much shorter walk for you to walk to the Skyliner, at least.
It was, but there were other Trinidad buildings that we had requested and didn't get, and this was also the
Hmm.
first time that I haven't like gotten a room or building uh, request that I've requested, and there were ones that were much closer to the Skyliner. So even the walk to the Skyliner was
Hmm.
still longer than I anticipated. And again, I've always poo pooed people that say that. So for anyone who's ever complained about long walks at Disney resorts, I apologize. I'm eating my words now because I've experienced it, and I think to experience it in July in 100-degree heat
Yeah.
obviously just kind of adds insult to injury a little bit because it really
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
tiring to come
Yeah,
and go
that's what I was
anywhere.
gonna say is the heat, I'm sure, makes a difference with
Yes,
that.
yes.
So, how was Sebastian's?
Sebastian's was lovely. I feel like it was the perfect arrival evening dinner, not only because it did allow us to explore the resort a bit, just headed up there into the main area
Mm-hmm.
and to see the pool area and Banana Cabana and to see the Skyliner moving. Like, I just love the Disney Skyliner, so that felt like a welcome beacon in and of itself. But the
Mm-hmm.
restaurant was just really pretty. It was very light and airy, and it had definitely an under the sea theme going, but it was very elegant, elegant in like a kid friendly way, but still
Mm-hmm.
felt really upscale and nice. And the ambiance was beautiful, but the food was delicious. It was way too much, as we predicted
Mm-hmm.
in the pre-show that it might be. It's an all-you-can-eat family-style buffet, essentially. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's seated. They bring you your food, but they still
Right.
bring
And
you as
all you
much
care
as you
to
want.
enjoy.
Yes, yes.
Right.
But it was seriously delicious. They have like a taste of the Caribbean offering, and my favorite thing was like their baked fish with this cilantro rice and beans and this
Mm.
mango topping. They have these buttery house pull apart rolls with guava butter and caramelized onion jam. They have this mixed green salad with key lime dressing and spiced candied pumpkin seeds, and it was just all so unique, but really well done and delicious.
I have to ask about the bread pudding. How was the bread
Yes,
pudding?
yes, we did get that. But by the time we ate as much as we could of everything else, my mom and I were really excited to try it, but we truly could only manage a couple bites each. But it was
Mm-hmm.
as good as I had heard. It was this, yeah, caramel, pineapple, coconut bread
Okay.
pudding that the restaurant is known for was really yummy. I just
Okay.
wish we had more space for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I am considering adding a Sebastian's reservation to my Labor Day weekend trip. We will see.
Yes. And where are you staying that trip?
Well, we're doing one night at All Star Sports,
Okay.
and then we're spending the rest of it at Pop.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So you'll
Yeah.
be on the Skyliner. I totally
Right.
think you should do it. I think
Right.
it's worth it. I would recommend it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. We've been making some switcheroos. Originally, I was supposed to go to Grand Destino Tower, but
Ugh, which I
then
also love.
which I love, and
Yes.
I the lure of the Skyliner just pulled me back. And the reason I
Yeah.
had chosen Grand Destino is because I thought I was going to do one day of remote work,
Oh,
and
sure.
so I wanted a place that was easy to remote work out
Yes.
of after
Yes.
checkout time. And
Yep.
I'm not remote working anymore. I decided to stop with the tomfoolery and
Just
request the
enjoy
day off
it.
as a
Yes.
vacation day. And so I
Yep.
did. So then I was like, oh, let me switch. So I did. And so that's what we're doing.
I
And I just
understand
thought,
that.
oh, that'll be easy to get over there. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wanting to try it because even when we stayed there, we didn't try it. We were there for, I think it was a one night stay. It was like one of those, like, let's tack on a night to our vacation.
Right.
And just this past week, I was listening to some episodes of the Main Street Dish because I was a little far behind. I was like 5 or 6 episodes behind because I've been so
Yeah.
busy lately, and so I was just sort of listening to them on repeat, and they were going on and on about those pull apart rolls.
Uh
I think
huh.
it was their whole
For
episode
good
on bread.
reason. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Like bread around Disney.
Yes.
Well, I can understand why the pull apart rolls at Sebastian's Bistro made the list. I'll say that. They really are.
Yes.
They really were
Yeah.
good.
All right, let's get into your first full day then. So,
Yeah.
Wednesday, July 16th was a Magic Kingdom day.
Yes.
You were using the multi-pass lightning lane,
Yes.
and then you had some surprises up your sleeve for this
That's
day.
correct. That's
So,
correct.
walk me through it.
It was a great Magic Kingdom day. And it started with our best rope drop ever, just meaning best time getting out of the resort, best time getting to the park. I was a little wary about how bus transportation at Caribbean Beach might work, especially being a building so far away. I
Right.
worried that we'd see all these buses coming past us that were just full of other guests and we wouldn't be able to get on. And I don't know why, but it wasn't that experience at all.
Mm.
Not only did a bus roll up for us at 7:40, but it was the Cinderella's carriage bus, which I think is just a very magical little moment, especially for our first
Mm-hmm.
transportation of the trip. And it was practically empty. So, for whatever reason, whether it was just luck or they were just circulating that many buses, anticipating,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, it worked out really well.
Where was
So,
your bus stop in the grand scheme of the internal bus system? Were
yeah.
you the first internal
No,
stop?
no, it was like third or fourth. So
Okay.
that's why I
Hmm.
was like, well, we'll see how this goes. But it was a super, super
Hmm.
pleasant surprise that it went
Good.
really easily. And we got to Magic Kingdom by 8. So
Wow.
truly, that I know that's like, and everybody was like, first day, but everybody was excited and energized. So it was just
Hmm.
great. Um, my mom and I had talked about our rope drop strategy quite a bit, just trying to make the most of our time. And we decided to go with Tomorrowland.
Hmm.
And so Dean and I rope dropped Space Mountain. We were on it by 8:20, like seriously
Nice.
easy. And my mom does have a history of back problems, so there are certain rides that I worry about with that, and Space Mountain would
Hmm.
be one of them
That for
for
sure would be one of them that you
understandable
should worry
reasons.
about.
Yes, yes. So this is so funny. I feel like they must have been some of the only ones in the park, but they loved it. Hope and my mom rope dropped Mickey's Tomorrowland Speedway, which is just, it sounds so obscure for anyone who's experienced it, but they
Uh-huh.
had so much fun. They didn't have to wait, and there weren't people in front of them that they were just like, chasing their bumper along the track. So I think,
Right.
Hope got to drive, and she's 10, so that's exciting.
Hmm.
And they enjoyed it. So,
Good.
listeners, if someone tells you, no, that's not a ride for rope drop, you just do you and do what feels right, because no one would recommend Tomorrowland Speedway for rope drop, and they had a great
Uh-huh.
time.
I heard about
So,
somebody rope dropping recently, Storybook Circus. So anything
oh,
goes, really.
anything goes. If you're happy, it's perfect.
Hmm.
So then we met at Tron. And
Hmm.
I wasn't sure how that would go, because that's not like a rope drop ride. That's like a get in line and wait until park open, and then hopefully you don't have to wait as long after park open ride.
Right.
But we were on it by 9:15, so I feel like our wait for that after we rode our
Hmm.
first rides was only like 35 minutes or so,
Hmm.
which for Tron standby is not bad in
Right.
general. So that was my mom's first time experiencing that, and yeah,
Oh,
so that was really
what
fun.
did
And
she think?
she did the normal like motorcycle esque seat, and she really liked it. She said she'd do it again. She said her
Hmm.
contacts were drying out. I don't think she anticipated how fast
Oh,
you launch and go outside,
yeah.
but it was really fun. I've liked that ride more every time I've done it, and I think
Hmm.
my kids would feel
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. Do you have a preferred section you like to sit in? Are you a I want to be at the front? I want
Oh,
to be
I
at the
think that'd
back?
be so fun. It'd be so fun to go in the front.
Hmm.
But I've never requested that. I think we were toward the middle, which we
Hmm.
usually are. Just we don't.
Yeah.
The only ride I request a spot on is Soarin'. I want to be in row one of Soarin', but otherwise, I just accept that I'm where I'm supposed to be that time around.
Yeah, I don't have a preferred seat in Tron. In fact, I would say if I had to say what I preferred, I actually prefer to be a little bit further back because I like seeing the other lit up cars in front of me.
That is
I don't
very
know.
true, actually. Yeah, no, there is a lot of fun to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just
So,
let them put me where they're going to put me, and I'm
yeah,
happy.
exactly. So it was really fun. And then we were in Tomorrowland. So one of the pictures I'm going to send you for the show notes, Virginia, is a picture of the kids with their Tomorrowland Joffrey's giant donuts. So that was like our first giant sprinkled Joffrey donut experience. I got a nice coffee, and it just felt like we'd been really successful with three. Uh, really fun rides already. So then we just had some donuts to walk us over to our first lightning lane, which
Hmm.
was Haunted Mansion. And I feel like even after our first rides and coffee and donuts, we were probably on that by like 9:45. So
Hmm.
yeah, we were
Yeah,
doing really well.
very successful morning so far.
Yes, yes,
All right, what did you
yeah.
do after Haunted Mansion?
So after Haunted Mansion, we walked over to Under the Sea Journey with the Little Mermaid, which is probably not everyone's priority, but I love it. We've talked about this
Hmm.
before.
Yeah.
Ariel's my favorite princess, and I love that ride. And it's just a slow, easy, enjoyable ride. And I sat with Dean on it, which I feel like I don't often do, and he was really into singing along with me, which was really sweet and
Aw.
magical. So it was fun. It was fun to do
Hmm.
that. And then he wanted to try a LeFou's brew from Gaston's
Okay.
Tavern, which we've never tried before.
Okay.
And I had seen on social media before our trip some kind of pina colada flavored bubble slushy from
Mm-hmm.
Eric's little snack stand across from the ride. So my mom and
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those, and Dean got a LeFou's brew. So I feel like the morning felt successful because not only were rides going well, but I also felt like we were finding those moments to like try a treat here and there, try a drink here and there. And we don't
Mm-hmm.
always do that because it's so easy to get into the park and just be like, ride, 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 lightning
Mm-hmm.
lane. But like to slow down and try some different things kind of encourages you to soak up the atmosphere along the way, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
that felt really nice.
What what did you think about the crowds for this trip as a whole and for this day?
Yes. Oh, I'll tell you about crowds the next day because it when we get there,
Okay.
'cause that felt a lot different. But the Magic Kingdom day felt pretty light, really.
Okay.
I was glad we had the lightning lane still because I don't want to wait, 30 minutes for Under the Sea. I don't want to wait
Mm-hmm.
50 minutes for Peter Pan. So it was nice to like get through those lines, but
Mm-hmm.
even those wait times on a crazy busy day are not bad. So it really did
Right.
feel like Magic Kingdom was lighter.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And how did he like the LeFou's brew?
He liked it. Um, yeah, he ended up really liking it. It's a apple juice with some marshmallow fluff,
Mm-hmm.
and I think some like butterscotch or kind of a different flavor in there as well. So I think he was
Mm-hmm.
initially like that's a combination of things. But once it kind of got once it kind of got mixed up, he really liked it. So it was
Okay.
refreshing.
So are you telling me you did not care for it?
I will say, first sip, I was like, okay. But truly, once it kind of all settled together, I
Uh-huh.
thought it was really tasty, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say when it's hot enough outside, anything that's going to be icy
Anything
like that
cold.
is going to
Yes.
be fine.
Yes.
It's not one of my favorites personally
Yeah.
because it does taste so much like just apple juice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the kids seem to like it.
Yeah. And it's fun. And I got a cute little picture of him with his LeFou's brew outside of the Gaston statue. So again, just like
Mm-hmm.
slowing down enough to experience some of the non-ride things
Right.
in Magic Kingdom was fun.
How was your pina colada thing? Just
It
for
was pretty
personal
good.
notes.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good.
Okay.
It was fine. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
obviously, it's not a real pina colada. Most people, I think,
Right.
know that Magic Kingdom doesn't have alcohol like Epcot or Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom at their quick
Mm-hmm.
services, but it was still really refreshing, and I love the taste of pina colada.
Okay.
So it was good.
Okay. Good to know. All right.
Yeah.
What was next?
We went to Dumbo the Flying Elephant. That was like a
Mm-hmm.
5 minute wait. So again, speaking of lower crowds, I mean, this was, you know, 10:15, 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
And Dumbo was super quick. Like they didn't even, I mean, you could choose to go to the indoor playground that's a part of the queue there, but you didn't even have
Right.
to. You could really walk just all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Dumbo's such a classic, but one that we don't or haven't done anyway recently
Mm-hmm.
every trip. So that was really fun to do with
Yeah.
them. And on a
Yeah.
hot day, getting up there in the air and flying around feels really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. And since we were in the circus area, Hope and Dean went on Barnstormer by themselves, which is the perfect size
Mm.
roller coaster for them to feel independent on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were closing in on our surprise reservation. So I was super excited to
Okay.
walk them there.
Did they know that there was a surprise at all coming?
So get this. I had left my notes from the pre show in my car.
Oh
And
no.
so Hope put on a really convincing and sweet act that morning, like asking if we could go to Bippity Boppity Boutique, when we could go to Bippity Boppity Boutique. And my mom and I were just trying to leave it a surprise. We were saying, not this trip. No, you have to have a reservation. That has to be done in advance. But I think she
Mm-hmm.
had an inkling because she'd seen the show notes where I wrote, surprise Bippity Boppity Boutique. So, but they still were just so happy. It's something that she's wanted
Mm-hmm.
to do. Again, we've done it one other time, and they say 12 and under, and she's 10. So I really feel like this was kind of our last experience with that, but I'm glad that she
Mm-hmm.
got to experience it again.
What did she choose?
So I had chosen for them the carriage package and the night package, which is the least expensive option. We've
Mm-hmm.
done the more elaborate princess option in the past. And also on this 100-degree July day, I just didn't
Right.
know how enjoyable it would be to walk around in a full night costume or a full princess costume.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, the carriage package includes a t-shirt, like a best day ever, really cute pink rhinestoned t-shirt. But then we
Mm-hmm.
did get additional accessories like a fancy tiara, a fancy necklace. And then I got her like the tutu skirt that goes with the shirt if you want to purchase that. So it's not like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she definitely had new fun things to wear, but it wasn't a particular princess gown.
Okay. All right. And did she do just the traditional bun, or did she choose like extensions or what?
Yeah, she did. She opted for the bun, which again, given the heat, I felt was wise, like to get her
Mm-hmm.
hair up off her neck. So she did the bun, but with it, she chose like a pink. She was very pink that day, a pink braid to go around the bun, and then I think the first time we did it, we did that Mickey rhinestone barrette that you see a lot from little
Yeah.
girls who go and get their hair in a bun at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but she did a big, just pink bow that went on the back. So she
Oh,
definitely
okay.
looked, yeah, put together and matchy.
Cute.
Yes.
And what about Dean? How did he enjoy his
Yes.
night
He
package?
he loved it. It's so cute. It's definitely not an experience for just little girls, and I don't know if families really realize that they do
Mm-hmm.
just as special of a job with little boys. Of course, they're not doing nails or makeup or stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
what they, the time that they would spend on that for little girls, they're spending with little boys, giving them a sword and a shield and taking an oath to protect the kingdom. And he's still
Mm-hmm.
got his hair all gelled and fancy looking with sparkles and glitter in it. So
Mm-hmm.
he had a great time. And part of his
Cute.
oath, which I really appreciated, and I did not remember this from last time, but the fairy godmother apprentice who was walking him through his oath made him promise to not hit his sister with his sword or shield, and he took that pretty
Oh,
seriously. Yeah,
that is amazing.
really smart, huh?
Very smart. Very smart.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. There was a couple
Oh.
times, especially later in the day, when everybody's, a little frantic, that I said, "No,
Uh-huh.
you promised. You took an oath," and he
Uh-huh.
remembered.
That's so cute. I wish I had
Yeah,
done that at some point with Alex,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I
Can you
didn't.
imagine if you asked him now, like, Alex, we never got the chance. Like, let's try it. He'd be like,
I
absolutely
know.
not.
I did consider it because they used to do the pirate makeovers too.
Yeah,
And I
that would be
had
fun,
nearly
especially for
signed
like a
him up for
Halloween
one.
night. Hmm.
Yeah, but it was during the pandemic when he would have sort of the right age and would have been into
Yes,
it,
yes.
and they weren't doing it at that time. So,
Oh, yeah.
oh well.
Yeah, it was fun. And it was, they say to anticipate an hour and a half experience. And I would say it was not longer than that, which I
Mhm.
appreciate. It was not much shorter than that either. Like a lot of things, I do feel like there is an element, and it's why, we say pack your patient pants and just, be
Mhm.
as patient as possible, because there was still a lot of hurry up and wait. And I do think a lot of that hour and a half was like, okay, now you have your outfit, wait 15 minutes. Okay, now we're going to change. Okay, now wait, so there was
Yeah,
still
yeah.
an element of that, but it moved along quickly enough. And I'm glad that we did it.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Where did they go after they were all dolled up?
Yeah. At that point, we were hungry. Like the kids had
Mhm.
had those donuts, but it had been a bit. My mom and I had or wanted to eat, and our goal, I think I mentioned it in the pre-trip, was to do a little lunch at Columbia Harbor House. It's one of my favorite
Mhm.
quick services at Magic Kingdom. I love that lobster roll, and I feel
Mhm.
like when it's that hot out, I feel like only certain things are you really hungry for, and there may be cold things. So I feel like the lobster roll fit the bill really well for that. So my mom and I
Mhm.
shared a lobster roll. The kids, whatever, had their chicken finger kids meal there that they would get anywhere, but they were happy. We were inside. It was air conditioned. We had a nice
Mhm.
little corner table upstairs. Like it was just a perfect little, okay, take a little break, refuel,
Mhm.
little reset.
Yeah, I love Columbia Harbor House. It is
Yeah,
one of my favorite quick services.
yeah, that lobster roll is seriously really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Highly recommend.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What was after lunch?
Yeah, we kept going with lightning lanes. I really do feel like I was glad that we did the multi pass and the lightning
Mhm.
lanes. And so we did a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train lightning lane. love Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's one of my favorite rides
Yeah, me too.
across the parks, I would say, but definitely in
Hmm.
Magic Kingdom. We did
And I love a
Adventures of
ride
Winnie
that
the
comes
Pooh.
with a video in your
Yeah, it's
PhotoPass
so
roll.
cute.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. We did Winnie the Pooh after that. Again, these are all lightning lanes. And then we were able to go to Enchanted Tales with Belle, which is was one of our goals
Fun.
as well. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I, I joked, and I think you'll understand this reference, Virginia, as will other musical theater fans. But I said, like Leslie Odom Jr. in Hamilton,
Uh-huh.
Dean returned to reprise his role as the Beast.
Uh-huh.
He got to be the Beast in Enchanted Tales with Belle when he was whatever a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and he got to do it again. And I think he was really excited about it. It was kind of
Aw.
funny watching him though because he had a sense of what to expect, and he
Mm-hmm.
was a little bit older, a little more
Mm-hmm.
confident.
Mm-hmm.
So, like watching him dance with her, he was doing this like really funny like crossover footwork. Like I think he was just really trying to shine in his role. You know, he'd
Uh-huh.
been given a second chance. His bow was like really
Mm-hmm.
grand and deep. Like he really did a good job. And Hope got to be Maurice, which she did say she preferred being Philippe, but she still did a really good job being Belle's dad behind bars, and so
Uh-huh.
it was fun. It was fun to watch both of them.
Very, very cute.
Yes.
They both had more life experience to bring to their roles.
Yeah,
Really get in
exactly.
there, do
Really
some
dig
method
deep.
acting.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Oh
a
my
really
goodness.
special. And I think we talked about this on the pre-trip too. Even if you don't have kids with you on your trip,
Oh,
it is
totally.
still a very magical experience and a lot to experience. It's like
Mm-hmm.
what would you say, 20 minute?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool things about it.
And it's one of those things where you walk up to the building to enter the queue, and they do such a good job of making it look like this tiny little cottage.
Yeah.
And then you go
Yeah.
in there and you're like, this experience is huge.
Yes. Yes. So many rooms, so many spaces, so many
Hmm.
characters. It's very cool.
Yeah, love it. I
Yeah.
need to get back there. It's been a while since I've done it.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got to do that. After Enchanted Tales with Belle, we took some pictures outside of the Belle area, which I don't know if we've ever
Hmm.
done that before. So we did a couple different photo pass stops that we've never done before. So that was a fun
Hmm.
one to experience. Um,
Nice.
Hope and I had our tier one lightning lane for Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Hmm.
And my mom and Dean had their tier one lightning lane for Jungle Cruise. And Dean has never done Jungle Cruise before. So he got
Okay.
to experience that and really liked it. And I love Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I think kind of like Tron, it's one that I like better every time.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
get that. How
yeah.
did Dean like the jokes?
My mom said he really appreciated it. And later on in the trip, when we were at our family's house,
Hmm.
after we'd left Disney, he was playing with some clay, and he didn't want anyone to see what he was making. And I have to be honest, I haven't been on Jungle Cruise in decades, so I don't know exactly what this was, but I think your listeners who have been on Jungle Cruise will. So he was working on this clay sculpture. He told us it was inspired by Jungle Cruise. And when he went to unveil it, there was a lion standing over a zebra carcass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
totally.
it had really inspired him.
Yeah, so there's a scene in the Jungle Cruise where you see a pride of lions sort of
Uh huh.
in an overhang, like I want to call it a cave, but it's not a cave because you can see it
Yeah.
and it's like an overhang of a rock.
Yeah.
And there is a zebra in there with them, clearly having been killed
Right.
by the
Right.
lions, but they always say, "Oh, look, they're taking care of that zebra," or I
Uh
can't remember
huh.
what joke they
Uh
make, but it's
huh.
always
Uh huh.
basically like, look at how they're caring for
Right.
that zebra.
Right. Well, it stuck with him. So
That's cute.
so yeah, they enjoyed it. My mom and Dean after Jungle Cruise then went and did Pirates, which I love Pirates. I didn't
Hmm.
get to do it this trip, and that's okay. So I'm glad they experienced it. And after Tiana's Hope and I took, that was another photo stop place that I will send you. I will send you that picture because I thought they were really cute the way they turned out just in Tiana's Bayou area. But
Mm-hmm.
she and I went to Main Street because it was time for a snack, and we got a Mickey pretzel, cinnamon roasted pecans, which is my new thing as of our
Mm.
girls trip in February, and our Casey's mint julep lemonades, which we get every time we're at Magic Kingdom.
Mm. Where did you get the cinnamon,
Just the same
whatever they
part.
or cinnamon
Yep.
almonds, you said?
I think you can choose between almonds and pecans.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I asked the girl at the stand what she recommended, and she said pecan. So that's what we went with, and they were
Mm-hmm.
delicious.
Okay.
So they're just at one of the little stands in the main like castle courtyard area.
Okay. Like a similar place where you'd get popcorn or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Got it.
Yep, yep. So it felt good to get a little snack, get a lemonade, and just sit. We just sat at a table outside of Casey's, which I love. Like, what a great place to sit and just soak up the atmosphere because you can just
Mm-hmm.
watch the castle and just
Mm-hmm.
take in the ambiance, and waited for my mom and Dean to catch up with us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What was next on the agenda?
Next on the agenda was a Florida rain shower because it is
Mm.
July in
It was about
Florida.
3 o'clock?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly
Okay.
right. Like the parade had just gone by, time for rain.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So it started pouring, and we were kind of huddled under our Casey's umbrella table for a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
it was getting a little too intense for that. So we just hopped over to the Emporium and
Mm-hmm.
honestly only had to wait it out there for like 10 minutes. So it was a
Okay.
very considerate,
Yes.
quickly passing rain shower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we did that, and then we had a Peter Pan's Flight lightning lane. After that, we had a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin lightning lane. Like, it truly was an incredibly successful lightning lane day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, by then it's what, 4:15, like that time of day, even after some breaks, even after some refueling, when you've rope drop where you're like, how much longer are we going
Mm-hmm.
here? um, but the kids really wanted to do Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, and that's something we haven't done in a bit too. They had a joke that they just so wanted to share. And if you've never done Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, it is a very cute attraction. It is a show where you have comedians voicing these characters live. They are exceptional improvisationalists. I don't know if that's a noun, but they are just so good.
Improvisers.
Yes, yeah, that was quite a multisyllabic word though. That was kind of cool. Yeah, but they just do a really good job, and they take jokes via text message from the audience as you're waiting for
Mm-hmm.
the show. So the kids were really hoping their joke would make the show, and it was the first one they did. I
No
know, they
way.
were so excited. Yep.
Elizabeth, can I just tell you, I submit a joke every time I'm in that line, and I've never once been picked. And they are always family-friendly jokes that I
Yeah.
choose, and I'm like,
Yeah.
surely at Disney this will be
Well,
picked.
who knows? Maybe we had low competition. I don't, or maybe it's a timing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we got in the line, the screens were telling me where to send the joke and what the password is. But then,
Mm-hmm.
like, when we got closer to the door, it was a different password. Like, sometimes I wonder, ooh, like, if you entered your joke, did you actually get it in the window you were supposed to? So be
Yeah.
aware of that next
Yeah.
time. But
Okay.
yeah, from Hope and Dean from Gretna, Nebraska. What's a pig's favorite martial arts move?
What's a pig's favorite martial arts move? I
A
don't know.
pork chop.
Oh my goodness. Ugh.
So
I would not have
they were
gotten that
so
because I'm
happy.
sitting here, I'm trying to think of like puns that I could make off of
Uh-huh.
karate or kung
Yes,
fu or
yes, yes, yes. They were delighted.
congratulations, kids.
Yeah, I'll pass that along. Thank you. um, my mom and I were honestly, and the kids had been good. It was just a long day in the Florida
Mm-hmm.
heat. We were kind of ready to call it a day, but as we were walking back, through the park and got toward our favorite restaurant, Tony's Town Square, I just thought,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, I'll just pop in because wouldn't it be nice to sit and be in our favorite restaurant if they could get us in, which like what are the chances? But as it turned out, they did have a spot for us like 25 minutes later, and it just
Mm-hmm.
felt right.
Yeah.
It felt like the right thing to do. So we just took that chance to get our name in and just go to the bathroom, wash our hands, and then Mickey's wait at Town Square Theater was only like
Mhm.
10 minutes. So we jumped in line
Oh,
for
nice.
that. And we've
Yeah.
never met him there. So to see him in his
Oh,
little
you haven't?
magician's outfit,
Oh,
yeah,
so cute.
so cute. So that was a really, I think, perfect way to end a successful Magic Kingdom day, was to say hi to Mickey and have
Mhm.
dinner before we left.
Mhm. And it wasn't too late by that point, I'm guessing,
No,
based on
no,
sort of the timing you've been talking
no.
about.
Yeah, I feel like we probably got in to dinner like 5:30ish. So yeah,
Mhm.
not too late.
Okay.
And Mickey signed the back of Dean's shield, which makes that an
Oh.
even cuter, sweeter
Mhm.
souvenir. And he signed the back of Hope's Loungefly. So I
Oh,
just thought,
cute.
yeah, so it was really special. So the kids really appreciated that.
Mm, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Did you have any time for some pool fun when you got back to the hotel, or were you
Not
just too
that
wiped
day.
out?
We were wiped out. I feel like by the time we got back, it was probably 7:15, 7:30. So we just, yeah, we just got in our, oh no, I'm sure we showered. There is nothing like I don't care where you're staying on Disney property. There is nothing like a shower with their yummy smelling products in there after a
Mhm.
long sweaty day. So we did
Right.
that and just went to bed because our plan was to get up the next morning and rope drop Hollywood Studios. So
Yeah.
that was that.
Well, how did the rope dropping of Hollywood Studios go after such a successful Magic Kingdom morning?
Yeah. Yeah. The universe is balanced, you know? I I started thinking it was another best rope drop ever. I mean, similarly, we just got up, we had energy, we were ready to go. We were in the park by 8:10, like again doing really well.
Mhm.
Um, but I have to say, I was thinking, if I borrowed a line from Charles Dickens to describe our Hollywood Studios time, it would be that it was the best of times and the worst of times. I have never
Okay.
had a Hollywood Studios morning quite like it. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to look back on points of your trip and say, like, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but like, not
Mhm.
everything can be perfect. You take the lows with the highs.
Mhm.
Um,
You take the good, you
so
take the bad, you
yeah,
take them both, and
yeah,
there you have the
yeah,
facts of
yeah.
life.
That's really beautiful.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, that was for all the kids of the 80s.
Okay.
You never watched that show?
I was a 1988 baby, so
Oh my
maybe I
goodness.
don't know.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
feeling really
but
old. So there was a
I'm
show called The
sorry.
Facts of Life,
I
and
am
it was about these
familiar.
girls that went to a private boarding school, and it was
Yeah,
about them and their like house mother or whatever. And it had
yeah.
a killer theme song that went, "You take the good, you take the bad, you take them
Yes,
both, and there you have the facts of
yes.
life, the facts
The
of
facts
life."
of
Yeah.
life, the facts of
Anyway,
Disney. Like, it can't
yeah.
all be perfect all the time, I suppose. So, yeah, we got in there. And I've shared this before on the podcast. It's always our strategy to rope drop
Mhm.
Toy Story Land with honestly the hopes of getting through all three of those rides,
Right.
in a relatively efficient amount of time.
Mhm.
But for the second trip in a row, unfortunately, when we got back there, Slinky Dog was down. And so then we
Hmm.
thought, you know what, let's do Mickey and Minnie's. But Mickey and Minnie's was also down. So
Ooh.
Mickey and Minnie's
Okay.
was down. Uh, Slinky Dog Dash was down. And what
Were
that
you
means,
able, sorry to interrupt, but were you
no,
able to
you're
tell when
fine.
you looked at the app that they were down, or were you literally like going all the way back there to discover it was down and then
I,
all the way back to Mickey and Minnie
yeah,
to discover it was down?
maybe that's a lesson, is that even during rope drop, I should look at the app to make sure, because that didn't even, to be honest, that didn't even occur to me. I use the app throughout the
Mm.
day, but I guess I just thought, I never think to do that like before park open, and now maybe
Mhm.
I will. So maybe it was a good
Okay.
lesson learned, but no, it was a discovery, unfortunately,
Okay.
in real time.
Mhm.
So I'm fine rope dropping Toy Story Mania. We've done that before, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, when two really big family rides right next to each other are down,
Yep.
it means all of those families are getting in line at that one other ride. So
Right.
we waited 45 minutes in line at rope drop
Uh,
time for Toy Story Mania, which wasn't great. But
mm.
we got on it. We were super excited. It was like my best score ever. Like, we were just having so much fun. And then the screens went blank and the lights turned on and we were shut down
Oh
like
my
halfway through.
goodness.
I know.
And that's not
Um,
like a super exciting one to get walked off of.
no, it's sad. uh, Especially after waiting that long. And it
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, we still haven't made it through a ride yet. But, silver lining, when I asked the kids what one of their favorite memories from the trip was, Hope
Mhm.
said, because she was the one riding with my mom, she said that when that happened, my mom started singing, "You don't have a friend in me." And Hope just thought that was so funny. And it became one of
Uh-huh.
her like funniest memories. So I guess if we hadn't gotten shut down on the ride we waited over an hour for, when it, all is
Mhm.
said and done, that wouldn't have happened.
That's
So
true. Way to make lemonade.
yeah. Speaking of lemonade, we did get a grown-up lemonade after that because I was like, you know what? It might be 9:30 in the morning, but this is gonna happen from Woody's lunchbox, and it was really refreshing.
Mhm.
Um, we got our breakfast tarts, we got our tacho bowl, all the good things from Woody's lunchbox, which is one of our favorite quick services across property.
Uh-huh.
While I waited for that, my mom took the kids on alien swirling saucers, which is fun. And I feel like they got on and off that in 15 minutes, which was just a really lucky window. Because again, at this point, 3 rides are down. So like
Right.
everybody's going to just a few select rides. So by the time they were off, alien swirling saucers at 9:30 in the morning was like a 45-minute wait. Like
Ugh.
ridiculous.
And not worth that at all.
No, no. So they got to do that. The cast members, as we walked off Toy Story Mania, did give us Lightning Lane redemption passes. Um, but like for those who know, at Hollywood Studios, a lot of those rides that you really want to use them for are tier 1 rides, and so they didn't
Mhm.
like it didn't apply. So we couldn't go take that to Mickey and Minnie's. We couldn't go take that, to Slinky Dog Dash, which never came back
Mhm.
up, by the way. So that's okay. We decided
The
to go
whole
walk,
day?
at least while we were there, and we
Okay.
did end up leaving around lunchtime,
Oh,
but
because you
it
were
had
park
been down
hopping
that
this
whole time.
day.
Yes,
Got it.
yes.
Okay. That's still a
So
long time.
I know. So we walked towards Sunset Boulevard. Um, Rock and Roller Coaster was down. It was bizarre. I've never been. And so for listeners who are like, this sounds terrible, I've never experienced that. Like
Mhm.
11 Disney trips later, I've never experienced that. But 4 big rides being down at the same time is absurd.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the kids and I did Tower of Terror, which was super fun, although super intense. That's one of those rides that changes its course and its series every ride.
Mhm.
And I swear this one was more intense than some other ones we've been on. In fact, Dean, who has liked the ride in the past, was like, I'm never riding that again. Like it truly just, I mean, for a
Really?
thrill seeker, amazing, but truly just didn't stop going up and down and
Uh-huh.
up and down.
Mm.
So we did that. My mom waited for us. If I one of the pieces of advice I would give to especially new Disney World trip goers would be to really utilize guest services at those blue umbrellas.
Mhm.
Find them in the parks, and if you have any questions, any problems, any concerns, obviously approach them with kindness and patience because they've probably had a rough day too when the park is going like that. But I
Mhm.
did go see them after Tower of Terror and just said, like, I totally understand that you guys have had a crazy day too. Like, I'm sure there are a
Mhm.
lot of people who aren't happy, but here's how our morning is gone. And I just said, my mom wasn't able to ride this one with us because of back problems, and the choices at this point for what we can ride are becoming fewer and fewer. And I said, is there anything that
Mhm.
you could do for us in terms of, redemption passes? And she waved her magic wand and asked us if we were staying in the park. And I was like, no, I think we're good to go to Epcot. But she asked us what the 4 of us wanted to ride at Epcot. And so she gave us Lightning Lane passes for Frozen. And that was a
Oh,
day that we
nice.
didn't have multi-pass. So it was really,
Okay.
really kind of them and very appreciated that they did that.
Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask, and as
It
long as you're
doesn't. The
asking
worst they can
nicely
say is
and
no. Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I
Okay.
think it was a reasonable request. Like we've
Mhm.
spent our morning and this is not, I know this isn't the experience they want to provide their guests. So how can we
Right.
maybe make something of that a little
Yeah.
better?
How did you get over to Epcot? Did you walk through the heat? Did
Oh
you
gosh,
skyliner
gosh.
it?
We absolutely skylinered it.
It's a verb. No, it's a
um,
verb. I've decided.
but Virginia, before we left the park, and we were really like, just kind of spent at that point,
Hmm.
but we did the villain show.
Oh, I forgot to ask you
Yes,
about that. I'm so glad you
yes,
remembered to bring it up.
yes.
How did you like it?
Fabulous. I
Okay.
had high expectations, as you know,
Mhm.
because I shared about them in the pre-trip, and they exceeded it. It was
Mhm.
I just smiled
Oh.
so big the whole time, and I loved
Uh-huh.
watching my mom and my kids experience it. There was, and I know other guests have shared this with you because I've listened to those podcasts, but they did have wonderful audience interaction and just even just surprising moments. It was just
Mhm.
truly a delightful show. And if we would have stayed longer in Hollywood Studios, I absolutely would have wanted to watch it again. So it was
Okay.
really awesome. Highly recommend.
Okay. I cannot wait
Yeah,
to see it because
I
I'm a
am
villains
excited to
girl.
hear. Yes, I am excited to hear your review of it.
Okay.
It was very fun.
Nice. Oh,
And
so
then we
excited.
skylinered.
All right.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you got to Epcot? Was your Frozen Lightning Lane and Anytime Lightning Lane?
No, yeah, yes, it was a anytime lightning lane, which was obviously really appreciated. When you skyliner to Epcot, you get dropped off in World Showcase, right in between the UK and France. So
Mhm.
we went to France and had like the best lunch at their quick service there.
Mhm.
It just hit at just the right time. You know,
Mhm.
it was the ham and cheese croissant, the quiche
Ugh,
Lorraine, the
love
BLT
it.
with this garlic aioli. It is so good.
Mhm.
And then my mom and I had the rose slushes. And again, it was just a perfect combination
Yes.
of sitting down and delicious drinks, delicious food, not in a fancy environment. This isn't like
Mhm.
fancy France, but I highly recommend that experience as
Mhm.
well if any listeners have never been there for a quick bite.
Mhm. Yep. That sounds so good. My only complaint about Les Halles is that sometimes
Yeah.
it's very hard to find a table.
And it was, but my mom and Hope were on procure the food duty, and Dean
Mhm.
and I were on procure the table duty. So we just kind
Mhm.
of, stood along the perimeter as many people do and just waited for. I mean, those tables do turn
Right.
over pretty fast, but I agree that they could use about triple at
Yeah.
least the seating.
Yeah. I feel like there's got to be another space where they could push some of that merchandise into to allow for
Right.
because there's like a
Right.
lot of standing room to go into Impressions de France or
Yes.
whatever they're showing at that moment, or
Yes.
maybe it's the exit that they're coming. Like I just don't
Right.
feel like they need that much space. But
Right. Right. But yeah, it was perfect. And after that, we walked to Norway and
mhm.
did Frozen, which is, gosh, especially on a really hot day, that really hits too. Like
Mhm.
it's just like a literal, fresh, cold breath of air. And it's
mhm.
just such a fun, sweet little ride. I really enjoy
Mhm.
it. At that point, Hope and Dean and I did have a Guardians of the Galaxy Lightning Lane, and it's been over a year since we've ridden Guardians, like maybe a year and a half. Like it's
Really?
been a bit for us. Uh huh.
Okay.
So I was very excited about it, but for motion sickness reasons, that is one that I would not let my mom try. That is, I
Mm.
think, I don't know. Maybe you're out there, listeners, but if you have problems with motion sickness and can do Guardians, like that's impressive to me.
I know
Because
people who can do it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think it just depends on there's some people who it's like the spinning gets them, and
sure.
some people it's
A
the
particular movement or
screens.
experience.
And
That's true. That's true.
right, and I have heard of people who really get it with like the teacups, but don't have it for
Yes,
Guardians because it's not
yes.
like you're spinning around in circles on Guardians, you
Right,
know?
right.
You're just kind of
Yes, so don't be
gently turning in a
discouraged because it's
direction.
an amazing ride, truly amazing. At this point, I feel like it was around 12:30 maybe, and our Guardians Lightning Lane was for 3, and my mom was going to head back to the resort because this was the day we were planning on doing some pool time. So the kids and I were
Mhm.
really just going to go do that ride and then head back. So
Mhm.
again, wonderful, magical blue tent cast members, I just went up
Mm-hmm.
and kind of explained and said, is there any chance you guys could look at what's available and see if there's a lightning lane available for Sooner? And they did,
Mm-hmm.
and they got one for 155. So
Nice.
yeah, that bumped us up where we weren't just like standing around waiting. We went
Mm-hmm.
to Creations Gift Shop, which is one of my favorite gift shops across property. So we just had to spend a few minutes there,
Mm-hmm.
biding our time until it was time to go back to Guardians. And we got to ride, and it was so, so fun. I'm glad we did it.
What song did you get?
September.
September. Okay.
I know, which I feel like is a fan favorite. That's a fun
Yeah.
one.
It's probably the one I hear the most that people are like, I finally
Yes,
got September. I'm so excited
I
to get
agree.
September.
What's your favorite?
I mean, for sentimental reasons, everybody wants to rule the world.
I think I knew that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So
It's
what I
Alex's
love
song.
about that's right. So what I love about it is that whether you get Conga or Everybody Loves to Rule the World or September or whatever, there's
Hmm.
something for everybody. And guess what? It's fun no matter what.
Oh yeah.
But
Even my
September was
least favorite song, I'm always
yeah,
happy to hear
it's a
is
blast.
because it means I'm
Yes.
on the ride.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was so fun. It's the first time that three of us have been on that ride because in the past we've always ridden it with my husband.
Hmm.
And so the kids were sitting together in front of me. And it was so fun to watch them because as we're going, down all of these tracks, they were dancing. Like they had their arms
Oh,
up and they were dancing together. And it was just one of those mental picture moments that I felt really blessed to witness
cute.
from behind them. Yeah.
Mm, love it.
Yeah.
All right. So then pool time.
Yes. Yes. A
Okay.
long, hot walk back through World Showcase. So of course I had to stop for a margarita at the
I
margarita
mean,
cart out front of
obviously.
Mexico. The kids got, I think the drink was called a conga, actually.
Hmm.
I had to look at my notes for that, but it was a Mexican fruit punch made from orange, pineapple, and lemon juice. So we all just had a little refreshment to keep
Hmm.
walking with as we made our way back to the Skyliner. And yeah, it was nice because we Skylinered back, and my mom, who had been at the room for a bit, was then able to meet us at the pool again, just to save
Hmm.
us some of that walking across the resort with our swimsuits and our pool things, so we could just get changed there and make the most of that time.
Yeah. Did you keep your dinner reservation? So did you
We
have
did.
something? Okay.
Yeah, we had
All
enough
right.
time. We had a couple hours to enjoy the pool area, which it
Mm-hmm.
really is very fun at Caribbean
Mm-hmm.
Beach. And in fact, not only did we do that, but Dean found another 8-year-old boy to play ping pong with. And so he had a lot of fun with that. And Hope painted a seashell, which was the art, and craft for the day with the recreation team. So we really just got some good, not a long time, but a good little bit
Mm-hmm.
of time of resort time.
Yeah.
And we were still then able to go back and shower really quick and change and make it to Beaches and Cream at the Yacht Club at
Mm-hmm.
6:30.
Okay. Had you eaten there before for
No,
food? Okay.
I have not. I have not. I don't think I've eaten anywhere in the Yacht Beach Club area before.
Oh, okay.
So that was new. Have you eaten there
Okay.
before?
Only once, I
Yeah,
think. Maybe twice. I
yeah,
think twice. And I've only eaten food, not ice cream,
yeah,
which feels
yeah.
like it's
But the food is
wrong
really good.
somehow.
I
Yeah.
I get that, but it was
Yeah.
good. The kids had mac and cheese, and I mean, big shock, kids having mac and cheese. But the mac and cheese was really cute. It came in a little bowl and it had goldfish on top of it. So they were leaning
Mm-hmm.
into the beach theme and they loved it. And I
Mm-hmm.
got which this doesn't sound appropriate for like a 100-degree day, but I still got the grilled cheese and tomato soup. And it was
Uh-huh.
so good.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
really good. That's what I've
yeah,
gotten there before.
yes, delicious. Would it
So
have
good.
been even more rewarding on a cooler day? Maybe, but it was still
Perhaps.
really, really yummy.
But
Um,
I'm reading lately that they do recommend for somehow by having like hot soup, it actually cools you down.
what?
That's yeah, in terms of your body temperature. I just saw an article about it the other day.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
So really, I was just practicing wellness
Mhm. Right.
and
Yeah.
conscientiousness. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the food was great. I told you in the pre-show that like, yeah, I'm sure we'll get a kitchen sink. Like, you're going to Beaches and Cream, just do it.
Right.
And we saw a lot of tables get kitchen sink. So that was fun because they kind of have a whole ceremony surrounding that.
Right. Yeah.
But we did not. I mean, at that point we were full. It was a hot day. We'd walked all over the place, but like we still all got ice cream. Like my mom got like a strawberry ice cream soda. The kids each got the kid scoops,
Hmm.
flavors and toppings of their choice. And actually, I don't think I did get my own ice cream, but they both got like the double. Both of them got double scoop, like kids. Like there was plenty for everybody, and it was
Hmm.
very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that sounds like a successful dinner at Beaches and Cream.
yeah, yeah. It was really really good.
The next day was Friday, July the 18th, and you were heading to your favorite park
My favorite,
and your
and
mom's least
I
favorite
was
park.
yes, I was just gonna say I actually haven't. It seemed that she enjoyed the day for sure, but I
Uh-huh.
haven't asked her if her opinion on Animal Kingdom changed after that
Hmm.
day. But we had a lot of fun. Yeah, my favorite park for so many reasons. And it was a lightning lane day. That was another day I got a multi pass. Honestly, because when I was
Hmm.
looking at the pricing in that 7 day window, I feel like it was definitely the least expensive. It might have been like
Yeah.
$16 a person, which I understand is nothing to scoff at, but it also to then have an easier day and more efficiency.
Hmm.
I mean, it felt worth it to me.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our first lightning lane was Everest.
Hmm.
And my mom wasn't sure about it, but she did it and she said she would do it again.
Really?
So,
In spite of
yes.
her back. Okay.
Yeah, I felt so much better about that than like a Space Mountain or something more jarring, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Space
it
Mountain
does
for
go
sure.
backwards.
It's very
Yeah.
jarring.
Yeah. It does go backwards, but I had prepared her for that. So
Hmm.
I think yeah, it was successful. And that's
Okay.
another ride that I feel like I enjoy more every time because I do feel, for me at least, that I can enjoy it more when I kind of know what's coming. And my mom said the same thing. She said she would do it again because she thinks she would enjoy it more knowing kind of what happens when.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, all of the forced perspective. It looks so tall
Yeah.
when you're looking at it from far away, and then you
Yeah.
go up that first big hill, only to
Yeah.
realize like that's not the big drop
Right, I
anyway.
know.
So
Right. Yeah, isn't that is surprising. And the big drop is really fun, but it's not
hmm.
it's not the monster that it looks like it's going to
Right.
be when you're
Yeah.
climbing up it. So, I was glad we did that. It's one of my kids' favorite too. And then I think I've shared this on the podcast before, but my husband and my opinion is that one of the best bars on Walt Disney World property, probably like circumstantially more than
Hmm.
anything, but is that Thirsty River Bar in Asia. I just feel like
Okay.
we always get there when we're hot and we're ready for a
Hmm.
drink and something cool. And the cast members are always so exceptionally kind there. And I
Hmm.
love the Avalanche Frozen Blue Margarita. It's tequila and blue curacao and ginger, sweet and sour lime juice with a salted rim. Like it's just this delightful combination of a lot of things. And so my mom and I got one of those to walk through some animal trails, which again is just one of the reasons I like Animal
Hmm.
Kingdom so much because it has some amazing attractions. It has the characters and Disney magic, but it also just has opportunities to like slow down and luxuriate a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I've always enjoyed it, but I will say I think Animal Kingdom grows on me more and more every time I go.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorite things about it, and I don't know, I do kind of prematurely mourn the day when this will be gone because eventually they'll finish it up. But one of my favorite things is the Wilderness Explorer booklets and stops
Hmm.
along the way. And
Yeah.
we've brought those things back time and time again. And so Dean and Hope are only 3 badges away from completing it. But it keeps them really engaged and excited as we just walk through these trails and sip our drinks and learn about
Uh-huh.
animals and see really cool things. So I
What's going to
really,
happen
really
when
enjoy
they
it. I don't
finish
know.
it? Is there like a
I
big
don't
prize
know.
for doing it all?
I don't know. I
I
don't know
feel like
about
there's got to
that.
be some sort of certificate or
You
something.
would hope so because it is quite. I mean, we have probably been working on this like 4 trips anyway.
Mhm.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but they've had so much fun with it, and it's been
Mhm.
fun to watch them experience that.
Yeah. Maybe it's like, you know how in Boy Scouts you become an Eagle Scout, or in Girl
Yeah.
Scouts you get your gold award.
Yes.
This is definitely going to be,
Yes.
college
Yes.
application material.
Absolutely.
Like,
Put
I
it on their
completed
resume.
Wilderness Explorers.
I bet you actually could write a pretty compelling essay about that, actually.
Probably.
But yeah, so that's one of my favorite things there. So they kept working through that, and we went through that Maharaja Jungle Trail
Hmm.
from Asia to Africa, and our next lightning lane was the safari.
Nice. Anything exciting happen while you were on your safari?
Not necessarily exciting or unusual, but I do feel like it was consistently easy to see the animals. And you can't always say that because in a
Right.
beautiful
True.
way, they have plenty of space and it's a pretty
Hmm.
realistic, habitat for them. But I feel like we could see the lions well, which was really fun.
Hmm.
We could see the elephants. The giraffes always seem to kind of be up close and personal, which is really fun. But I feel like, hippos, the crocodiles, some animals that are sometimes a little more elusive, we were able to see pretty well. So that felt special.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You had mentioned in our pre-trip interview that it was Cool Kid Summer.
Yeah.
Did you feel that it was Cool Kid Summer with increased characters like they
Right.
had promised?
Right. Well, one of the parks that I have heard that is most prominent in is around rope drop time at Animal Kingdom. And that was the
Mhm.
one day that we took things a little easier just because our lightning lane was a little bit later and I didn't feel like we needed to
Mhm.
rush there. So there could have been more things happening there that we just missed. But where
Okay.
I felt the cool kid summer the most was at the resorts. They just had, photo opportunities and extra activities, and my kids like to pin trade, definitely not professionally or formally, but just for fun and throughout the parks
Professionally.
for, yeah, not professional. They're not professional. They're not paid to do this. But they they did have throughout the parks little red pin boards that were meant just for kids for Cool Kid Summer. So there was definitely these
Mhm.
touches of that. I just don't feel like we did a good job taking advantage of some of the special things with that going on in the parks.
Okay.
We did get to go to Nomad Lounge. Um,
Yay.
yeah, which I haven't been there in years, and I've only ever been there once. And so it was just a really nice way to sit. It's just such a nice place to sit down, and it really does, like,
Mhm.
you wouldn't know you're in a theme park. Like, it really is
No.
peaceful.
Mhm.
The menu is incredible. Drinks are great. It's, we were sitting outside where you're honestly just like on a sectional, so it's comfortable.
Mhm.
Um, and timing just worked out perfectly where we sat down, we ordered some food and drinks, and then the kids and I went to do our flight of passage lightning lane. And in the window from when we ordered our food to the food coming was exactly how long it took us to get through there because Nomad Lounge is so close to Pandora.
Right.
So we were able to do that. And it's been a while since I've done that ride too. And I love it. I think it's my
Mhm.
second favorite in all of Walt Disney World. So
Mhm.
that was a really fun thing to do. And my mom just held our spot and relaxed at Nomad Lounge while we did that. And then we came
Mhm.
back and ate charcuterie and the Tiffin's bread service and just really, really delicious, a delicious spread of things for our midday refuel.
Mhm. Was this basically your lunch?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
We got to the park late enough that I feel like even after, a couple rides and a drink and some animal trails, by the time we made it to Nomad Lounge, I feel like it was a little afternoon even. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Which is the perfect lunch to me. I mean, there's so many good things on that
Yeah.
menu.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I know. Yeah, and the charcuterie just felt kind of like the lobster roll at Magic Kingdom. Charcuterie just felt like not super heavy, not super hot. Like it
Mhm.
just felt like the right thing to get in that time and
Mhm.
place.
Do you remember what drink you got?
So since I already had a margarita, I decided to go with an NA, but it was really good. It was called a Zingiber Fizzle.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, fizzy, Zingiber fizzy. So it was like
Yeah.
passion fruit puree, mint, simple syrup, lime juice topped with ginger beer. So it still
Mhm.
felt really special. It just didn't have the alcohol component. But my
Okay.
mom got the tempting tigress which I think is fairly well known there. It's like a bourbon cocktail there, and she really
Yeah, I'm
likes
not a
that.
bourbon person, so I never get it, but
Yeah, that's
yeah.
usually not my pick either, but it was really good. I mean, I think all the drinks
Mhm.
they make there are probably pretty
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes.
Something
Yes,
for
they are.
everybody. Yeah.
All right. What was after Nomad Lounge?
After that, we did all go back and do our Navi River journey, Lightning Lane, and
Mhm.
the animatronic was back in all of her magnificent glory. The last time we did that, she was down and it was in B mode, and it was just like a screen of her face. So it was super
Yeah.
fun to see that. It's always impressive to me,
Mhm.
and it's just a really peaceful, pretty ride.
Right. And one that I prefer to have a lightning lane for because
Oh yes,
it's pretty, but it's not one that I want to stand in line for.
and that line gets really
Gets really
long.
long. Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
outside
yeah, it's
for the most
hot.
part. Yep.
Yes, yes. So, yes, happy to have a lightning lane, happy to experience it. And then we did very much feel like we needed to go to Dinosaur because I don't know how much longer that's going to be an opportunity.
Mhm. Yeah, you have to say another goodbye.
Yes, yeah. So I do. I have a picture of the kids waving goodbye, and I have, is it Dr. Seeker?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a picture of
My
them,
boyfriend.
watching him. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I think there's a connection there. So the kids and I did that. That's another one with my mom's back that I'm like, absolutely not.
Mhm.
Everest,
Yeah.
yes. Dinosaur, no. I don't know if that's weird, but it makes sense to me.
It's not. It jerks
Um,
you around. It makes
yeah,
total sense to me.
yeah. But it was very fun. And so she waited in the gift shop, and it's like a pretty spacious, well air conditioned gift shop.
Mhm.
And she bought the kids each a pin, which was really sweet. So she gave that to them after the ride. And after that, we felt like we'd done Animal Kingdom pretty well.
Mhm.
So we left to have a little resort break before we headed back to Epcot.
Mhm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this was just like a little naparoo
Yeah, this
chill
was
in the
like a
room.
room. Yes, this was like a room resort break.
Mhm.
I had so much fun this trip, but whether it's because it was so hot and I'm another year older, or because we did 3 park days in a row. And looking back, I'm like, I haven't done that in a long time. And I don't know that I would advise that if time and space allows. So I just do think by that point, it was like, I am ready to just lay on the bed for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right. But then always get more energy to get back
yeah,
to
of
Epcot
course.
and especially to visit San Angel Inn,
Yeah,
which is where you're
yeah,
headed.
yes. And that, much like Tony's Town Square at Magic Kingdom, that is one of our favorite kind of staple
Mhm.
restaurants that we try to hit every trip. So
Mhm.
we did that. We got a table by the water, which is always a request. It's just such a beautiful ambiance in the Mexico
Mhm.
Pavilion. I think you told me that's your husband's favorite pavilion, right?
I think it's his favorite pavilion. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna
yeah.
say restaurant, and I was like, no, I think his favorite
No,
is beer garden in
yeah,
Epcot.
yeah. No, I just think the pavilion itself is so unique, very
Mhm.
unique. It's always nighttime, it's always
Yeah.
cool. The
Mhm.
lighting's really pretty. So we got to sit by the water and enjoy dinner, and then we had a lightning lane for Soren.
Love
And
it. Okay.
yes, I think Soren was especially special this time because, as we discussed in the pre show, during this time that my mom and I and the kids were in Disney World, my dad and husband were in Switzerland
Mhm.
hiking through the Alps. And so when we were in the queue and watching the map, it was like, oh, there they are. Or when we got started on the ride and flew over the Matterhorn, I have a
Uh-huh.
video of the kids saying, like, oh, hi, daddy. Hi, papa. Like, that was kind
Oh,
of fun and special.
that's cute.
So, plus, I just think soaring is just a really relaxing, beautiful experience.
It's one of my favorites. I love it so
Yeah.
much. How late did you end up staying at Epcot this day?
We just
Because
did
you're
2 more
exhausted.
rides after that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There were 2 more rides after that. We did Spaceship Earth, which I'm glad we did. I love Spaceship Earth.
Mhm.
Um, and then we did Figment because my kids love it. I think it's very funny that our bookend rides of this trip
Mhm.
were Tomorrowland Speedway and Imagination with Figment. Like, just like these are not the top tier Disney rides, but you know what? Like
Uh-huh.
I said earlier, they are special to us, and whatever's
Mm-hmm.
special to you is what's best. So that is how we ended our evening. And storms were rolling in, so we felt really lucky to get on the Skyliner. I feel like just in the nick of time because they were starting to make
Mm-hmm.
announcements about seeking alternative transportation and finding a cast member. So they basically just got on, the crowd that was there on the Skyliner and got us back to our resort before they had to stop it. So that felt very fortuitous.
Very lucky.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next day was not a park day because this was your
No.
last park day. So Saturday,
Yeah.
July 19th was
Yeah.
a day that Hope and your mom were doing some horseback riding. And I know
Yes.
we're going to get a chance to talk to her in just a bit. But
Yes.
what did you and Dean end up doing during that time?
Slept.
Oh, okay.
they they left the room at 7. Their horseback ride was at 8, and Dean is my sleep-in kid anyway,
Okay.
so he was happy to lounge, and I was happy to lounge with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd thought about going up to the main building for characters because Caribbean Beach is one of the resorts that has predictable character appearances at the resort. And we did see Chip and Dale the morning before, which was really fun. So I thought about going up there for breakfast or to see which characters were up there. But honestly, again, with the walk and the heat
Mm-hmm.
and being tired, we just decided to sleep in and watch a show. And honestly, my mom and Hope were back by 9:30, nine
Mm-hmm.
forty-five, and with checkout at 11, we had started packing at that point. So it
Okay.
felt fine to just stay in the room that morning.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Now, from here, you were going to Marriott Harbor Landing.
that
T-
is what I
Tell me
told
about
you.
this.
Yeah, that is what I told you on the pre show. And then I realized that I said Harbor Landing because when my sister lived in Texas, she lived in an apartment complex called Harbor Landing. And this
Okay.
one was Orlando Harbor Lake. So I was close. But so, yes, we went to Orlando Harbor Lake, which is a Marriott Vacation Club property. So we had a 2-bedroom villa. And I will say it felt so nice to spread out.
Can you remind me, were you staying here because someone is a member that you know?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. So my husband actually used to work for Marriott, so he still has former colleagues and friends who
Mm-hmm.
work there. And if you have the fortune to know someone who works for Marriott, there are really good friends and family perks to that. So that was definitely
Okay.
one of the reasons we stayed there. But also, it just looked like a really fun property and was very close to SeaWorld, which is where we went
Mm-hmm.
while we were there. And it wasn't far from the family we visited. So locationally, it worked really well. And we were very, very impressed with the property. We
Mm-hmm.
are big believers in staying in the Disney bubble when we go to Disney, obviously. But my mom was saying, if we ever did another like multi-generational trip where we wanted to go to more than just Disney, she said
Mm-hmm.
I could see this working out really well for our family to be in different villas on the same property, kind of equidistance to Universal and Disney and maybe SeaWorld. So we were really impressed.
Mm. Did it have a full kitchen?
Yeah,
Okay.
it did.
And a
So
and a washer
again, if
dryer?
you, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So if you were staying for a long time, you could save some money, like picking up groceries and making your own food. We didn't do that, but we did stop at Publix and get some fruit and some snacks and a frozen pizza. So we didn't really
Mm-hmm.
cook, but one night we did it was the first night we got there. We were wiped out and we just stayed in
Mm-hmm.
the room and played games and had frozen pizza and watched movies in bed. And it felt
Mm-hmm.
really nice. Hmm.
Mm. That sounds delightful.
Yes, yes.
All right. So was your SeaWorld day on Monday, July 21st?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So Sunday was just a all day resort day. We spent a lot of time at the pool. They have a recreation area. There's ice
Mm-hmm.
cream socials. So that was just a big resort day. That was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Loved using the pool. And then Monday was our SeaWorld day.
Okay.
Yep. And I would say we rope dropped SeaWorld, which is a much less intense experience than
Uh-huh.
rope dropping Disney. But I was still glad to get there right when they opened, and it was a really fun day. My kids really liked it and would like to go back.
Did you do a lot of rides there or a lot of watching sea life?
Yeah, more sea life for sure.
Okay.
They do have a fast pass opportunity, but we opted not to get it. So
Mm-hmm.
we rode two rides. We rode the Sesame Street carousel, which was fun and silly. We didn't have to wait too long for that. But then we did wait like 35 minutes to do the Expedition Penguin roller coaster,
Mm-hmm.
which does have a height requirement. It wasn't a baby ride by any means, but it wasn't one of the more intense rides either. So I think I told
Mm-hmm.
you on the pre-show that SeaWorld calls itself roller coaster capital of Orlando. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
have so many coasters and so many big coasters and so many that Dean is just really excited to grow into. So we weren't quite
Mm.
there for a lot of those bigger ones, but I was glad that we still got to have a roller coaster experience because he was really
Yeah.
excited about that.
How were the shows? And I'm in my mind, it's whales and
Yes.
Shamu
Yes.
poking his head
Yeah.
out and doing tricks.
Yeah. We touched on this a little bit in the pre-trip. I know that for a lot of people, SeaWorld still feels kind of contentious or controversial, and there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people with a lot of different beliefs about sea life and captivity and what that means and what that looks like. But they have, as someone who's been to SeaWorld quite a few times in my life,
Mm-hmm.
they have absolutely evolved into just just conservation and education. They're
Mm-hmm.
not swimming with the orcas. They're not, it's not the elaborate lighting show and all that it used to be. It really does feel
Mm-hmm.
more educational, more enriching,
Yeah.
and still just as impressive. I mean, it is
Mm-hmm.
to watch, and I liked the show, but I really liked watching the whales underwater even more, just watching them swim and watching them play, and just they are
Mm-hmm.
so majestic. They really are very cool to see.
Mm. Anything else about your SeaWorld day that
Yeah,
was
yeah, we ended it with a dolphin encounter. It wasn't a swim with dolphins or anything that
mm-hmm.
elaborate, but it was an extra ticketed that I just did while I was there. I didn't know I was going to do this when we talked previously, but I saw that there was an opportunity for a dolphin encounter, and it was only 15 minutes long. It was in a small
Mm-hmm.
group, but I am so glad we did it. That was Hope and Dean's first up close experience
Mm-hmm.
with a dolphin. And I think I touched on this in the pre trip. My sister was a dolphin trainer for 10 years. Like, that's just something that's really special to our family, especially to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been down to see Holly in Texas when she was living that life. And so, for the kids to experience a little bit of that, they got to touch the dolphin. Yar was her name. They
Mm.
got to give her, some commands and watch, what she knew, and she splashed them and vocalized for them. So, just a really brief, but I think worthwhile experience to be up close and personal like that.
Cute. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's an experience, if unless I'm mistaken, I don't think you can do that experience in Disney at this point because they
Oh,
used to
with
have
mm-hmm,
the dolphin encounter
right.
over in the Seas Pavilion.
Yep.
And the last time I
Yep.
looked into it, it was no longer there. And I had
Yeah.
previously interviewed Molly, Molly,
Yeah.
and she had done that with her kids,
That is
and
cool. But
so I
yeah, I
was
agree.
looking
I've
to
heard
see like
that.
how much did it
Yeah.
cost, and it's
Yeah.
not a choice.
Right. Right. So yeah, so I am really glad that they had that experience, and I think it's one that they are obviously talking about as a core memory, and I think it'll be something that I'm
Yeah,
glad for a long time that we were able to do.
so much fun. Okay,
Yes.
so that brings us to Tuesday, July
Ah,
22nd, your
yeah,
departure
a
day.
full week. Yes. Yes.
Yes, and I'm just amazed with how much you got in packed into this week, and
Yes.
I'm imagining in my head that the minute you got on the plane, you all fell asleep from the exhaustion.
Oh my gosh, I do feel like I was in recovery for a couple days after getting back.
Mhm,
Again, more so than I remember in previous Disney trips, but like you said, maybe that's rose-colored glasses, hindsight 2020, all of that. But it definitely, I just think the heat and the intensity and the busyness. Yeah, we needed
mhm.
some rest time when we got back, but the flight went fine. It was delayed. I think we sat at the gate for 45 minutes after boarding, waiting on the pilots, which is not an experience I've encountered a whole lot, but
Mm-hmm.
they made it. They flew the plane. They did a great job. We landed in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm really happy that we were able to go.
When is the next time you will be making it down to Disney?
Sadly, I don't have a specific date for you, which is also unusual for me, I know. But, the school year is starting back up. I'll be in a new building. There's a lot to just kind of conceptualize and figure out these next couple months. We often just have some of the best Disney trips when it's kind of spur of the moment or,
Mm-hmm.
as last minute as Disney can be. We've had great trips that have just kind of been an all-star movie visit that
Mm-hmm.
is a month planned, like it
Right.
just so I am confident that we'll be there within the year, but I don't know specifically when, but it is
Okay.
a very special place.
All right. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining me today. I
Thank
always
you for
have a great
having me
time
again.
talking to you. So much fun. And listeners can hang on because we're going to hear a little bit from Hope before we
She is
go.
so excited. Thank you, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back, Hope.
It's good to be back.
Your second appearance on the show.
Yes,
It's
it
good
is.
to see you. I feel like you've gotten taller since the last time I saw you. I mean, I know you're sitting in a chair right now, but you seem taller to me. Do you feel taller?
Yeah.
All right. I want to hear about your experience on this trip, in particular, your horseback riding time. So, first of all, have you ridden horses before?
I've ridden like ponies with someone like having like the reins,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never like done something like this where I'm actually like controlling the horse.
So, how was it?
It was really fun.
Did your horse have a name?
Yes.
Do you remember what it was?
His name was Carson.
Carson. Okay. When you first get there to do the horseback riding, can you kind of talk me through when you arrive? Where do you go? How do they get you situated with your horse? All those details.
So when you get there, you have to sign in and you stand on like something that they like weigh you on.
Mm-hmm.
You get assigned a table number and then they give you a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will call you by table group to like line up at the platform to be mounted onto your horse. And it was kind of like they asked you like how much riding experience you had, so like they could pair you up with a horse who like suited like that like level of riding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe somebody, a horse that's more gentle for somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of experience.
Yeah,
Okay. Where do you go with the horse? Are you going in a circle or on a trail?
on a trail,
Okay. Through the woods?
kind of in the woods. Yeah.
Okay. So, how easy was it to be in charge of the horse?
For my horse, it was like really easy because like he already knew like where to go and
Mm-hmm.
like when to stop and when to go. So I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't have to do anything unless he tried to bite my grandma's horse who was right in front of him, which happened once.
Oh, no.
Uh, yeah.
So, are there people walking along with you so that they're close at hand if something happens?
So there's someone at the front of the line who's like guiding you through the
Mm-hmm.
trail, and then there's somebody that stays on the side so that like on a horse so that like if you need like help or anything like my grandma did when her horse
Mm-hmm.
Cameron went to the ferns the first time.
Oh, to have a little snack?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that does sound tasty. Is this something that you think you would want to do again, whether it's at Disney or not?
Definitely.
Are you interested at all in like becoming a better equestrian now that you've had this experience?
Yeah. My aunt and my younger cousin are both horseback riders.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to be a horseback rider too, but with my dance and stuff. And now that I'm
Mm-hmm.
in musical theater, I don't think it will work.
Ah, yeah. Sometimes when your schedule is that busy, you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
What are you doing in musical theater?
I'm doing the Dare to Dream Rose Brigade.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a Disney musical.
oh, okay. All right. What songs are you going to participate in? Do you know yet?
No, because we haven't started our lessons yet.
Okay. All right. Well, that's exciting. Sounds like a lot of fun. When do
Yeah.
you put on a production with it? Like a show for other people?
I have like literally no idea because they don't like tell us that. But like I
Mm-hmm.
would assume so
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Okay.
like during the like entire year, kind of. I think.
Oh, it's going to be during the school year too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fun. All right. And what I have to ask you, what kind of dance you normally do?
I'm doing ballet for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know what other one I'm doing, but it's with the same teacher.
Okay. I love that. I used to dance when I was a kid, and tap dance was always my favorite. I used to get in trouble for tap dancing under the dinner table.
I do tap dancing under my desk at school,
Yeah.
but it's carpet.
Well, carpet makes a difference. When it's
Yeah.
not carpet, that's when I would get in trouble for it. My dad used to say, "Who's tap dancing under the table?" Because my sister did it too. And so it was like, which one of us was it?
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me again, Hope. It's really
You're
good to see
welcome.
you.
Yeah.
And I hope I'll see you again in a future interview.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you very much to both Elizabeth and to Hope for always being game to sit down and chat with me. It's always a pleasure to welcome you both back, and I feel like I'm getting to watch Hope grow up before my eyes. Ugh. Listeners, thank you all for continuing to tune in. There are a lot of podcasts out there to choose from, I know, and I'm honored that you chose to spend some of your time listening to mine. That is all for today. Please have a magical week, and don't forget to keep daydreaming about where you want to be.